He stole $400,000 and forged my name on every transaction. I sent the evidence straight to the FBI. I was staring at a low-resolution, watermarked stock photo of a smiling man in a yellow hard hat on my secondary monitor, the cold realization sinking into my bones that my company had just paid this absolute phantom $95,000. My fingers hovered over the mechanical keyboard, trembling slightly against the plastic keys, because the metadata attached to this ghost employee didn't just expose a massive corporate embezzlement ring operating right under our noses. It revealed something infinitely more sinister. The digital signature approving every single fraudulent wire transfer didn't belong to the thief. It belonged to me. To understand the sheer, unadulterated audacity of this betrayal, we have to go back exactly 6 months to the polished mahogany desk of my department manager, Gary. I was a junior payroll administrator, holding degrees in both accounting and forensic data analytics, yet I was barely scraping by on a salary that hadn't been adjusted for inflation since I was hired 3 years prior. I had walked into Gary's corner office with a meticulously researched portfolio, outlining my recent certifications, my flawless performance metrics, and a highly reasonable request for a basic cost of living adjustment. Gary was a man who looked like he had been manufactured in a corporate laboratory designed to produce middle management sociopaths. He wore perfectly tailored Italian suits, sported a perpetual, leathery golf tan that he maintained year-round, and constantly smelled of expensive Sandal 33 cologne and stale espresso. The budget is absolutely bone-dry, Ruby, Gary sighed, rubbing his temples in a theatrical display of profound exhaustion, pushing my compensation portfolio back across the desk without even opening it. I'm barely making rent, Gary, I whispered, keeping my voice level despite the burning sensation rising in my throat. I took on the entire legacy database migration by myself. I am doing the work of 3 senior administrators. He leaned forward, steepling his perfectly manicured fingers, his eyes narrowing into cold, patronizing slits. We all have to make sacrifices in this economic climate, Ruby. I'm taking a pay cut myself just to keep the lights on around here, he hissed, the venom in his voice designed to make me feel small, greedy, and ungrateful. I felt the heat rising in my neck and my vision went blurry with rage. I wanted to scream. I wanted to flip his heavy mahogany desk right into his lap. Instead, I forced a tight, humiliating nod, stood up, and walked out of his office. 10 minutes later, I watched from the break room window as the man who claimed to be taking a pay cut to keep the lights on strutted out to the executive parking lot, unlocked his brand new charcoal gray Porsche 911 Turbo, and roared out of the complex. The rage didn't dissipate. It crystallized. It became the fuel that powered me through the grueling, mind-numbing task he had dumped entirely on my shoulders, migrating our rotting, 10-year-old legacy Oracle payroll database into a sleek, encrypted cloud infrastructure. It was a tedious, monumental undertaking that required combing through thousands of rows of employee data, verifying tax identifiers, and ensuring the routing protocols didn't shatter during the transition. It was 11:45 p.m. on a rainy Thursday. The fluorescent lights of the deserted accounting department hummed above me, casting a sickly yellow glow over my cubicle. I was cross-referencing a batch of remote consultant profiles when my eyes locked onto row 4892. The name was John Smith. The title was External Logistics Consultant. The annual salary was $95,000. My forensic training, honed over years of analyzing data anomalies, immediately triggered an internal alarm. The profile was entirely too sterile. I opened the internal Slack directory. John Smith didn't have an account. I checked the global Outlook exchange. John Smith had never sent or received a single internal email. I pulled his direct deposit routing information. The funds weren't going to a standard Bank of America or Chase account. They were being funneled through an obscure payment gateway known for international wire obfuscation, ultimately landing in an offshore account in the Cayman Islands. What started as a late-night data migration was about to spiral into a high-stakes game of digital cat and mouse. Over the next few days, I was going to uncover a corporate conspiracy so massive, it wasn't just draining hundreds of thousands of dollars from the company. It was actively designed to send me to federal prison. Kindly follow on-screen instructions for full video.